Okay, so I should be live. How's everybody doing tonight? All 11 of you. I guess technically 10 because I'm in there too. So Godzilla. I guess I should probably wait a few just to let people show up. I tried to get Weaponized Nerd Rage to show up. I know that he saw it. I invited him earlier today, but I don't know if he'll make it or not. So either which way, it's all good. Okay, all right. Now I know I can talk about why I let people kind of show up. Um, so back in 2014, when they did the new release of Godzilla, I wasn't terribly impressed by the movie, and a lot of it, which is funny, they actually kind of correct in this movie, is that like every time they went to go kind of have like this action scene with Godzilla, they would either pan away or like a door would close and you wouldn't see what was going on. So that they really kind of like drew out like the teasing of Godzilla. And I found that to be terribly annoying. And it really kind of ruined the movie for me. And that and the fact that they killed off Bryan Cranston, spoiler warning, so early on in the film, and it just became generic military action man, which was the dude that played Kick Ass. So yeah, I didn't dig it whatsoever. So I went into this movie with pretty damn low expectations. Besides the fact I knew about a little bit of the media hype surrounding the movie with the I guess not so great scores on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that Rotten Tomatoes is worth a shit anymore, or I guess it's been quite some time, as been apparent earlier with Captain Marvel. But overall, I really enjoyed this film a lot. And I don't know if it's because of current year has really kind of lowered my expectations on cinema these days, but it was fun, and that's something I don't think we can say that's been going on a lot with movies. And it was good. It was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. Um, the only thing that still bugs the shit out of me, again, going back to the original movie, was the fact that they made Godzilla fat, and that really kind of was just aesthetically bad. So I mean, obviously just a leftover thing from the previous film. And honestly, for some reason, I thought there was already another movie that came out for Godzilla, but I guess it was this movie. They just been like teasing and hyping it for such a long time. It just feels like the movie already came out. But either which way, it's fun. It was enjoyable. One thing I have to point out too is that I think this is a really good example. Shut up, Eric Breen. Um, of diversity done right. It actually did have a very diverse cast, and it was well done. It wasn't like what's the best way of putting it? It wasn't done in such a way where you're being annoyed like by the stuff that we saw coming out of Marvel and whatnot. It was just it was fine. It wasn't a big deal. You had people, they exist in this world, and it like I said, it's fun. I highly recommend you guys go and checking it out. It's a everything I wanted out of a big monster movie that has monsters fighting. Um, but overall, let's see. I want to talk about some of the stuff that was going on. I am going to get into some very light spoilers, mainly just around the plot, because I can't necessarily bring it up or talk about the story without getting into a little bit of the plot. So if any of you guys are adverse to hearing anything about the movie, now would be a good time to bail. But I'm not going to spoil the movie. I'm not going to get into it, too much. I mean, if you've seen the trailers, you know what's going on. The fact that it's monsters fighting monsters. Um, I haven't really read any of the articles around it. I want to say that some of the media shills were complaining that it didn't have enough development of the human characters, and I'm kind of like left like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because that whatever they said that was dumb. Like I said, I'll get into a little bit of that in a bit. So anyway, like I said, from for here on out, minor spoilers of the movie. So I like the way they kind of set the movie up. It's the best way of describing it is that humans do something bad, monsters fight. That's kind of like a base level synopsis of what's going on. What happens is, and I don't remember, like I said, I only saw the original movie like when it came out in the theaters, and I never saw it after that. So I was like totally fucking not giving a shit about what happened. So there's this organization called Monarch, and I think that's the organization from the first movie. And character development in a monster movie. Brandon, there actually is, and I'll talk about that in a minute. It's actually really kind of funny. But there actually is some character development. Even Godzilla has character development, which is, if you think about that, that sounds really stupid. But once I explain it to you, it'll completely make sense. Hey, Christie Miller, I promise to make you a wrench. Yes, be jealous, Dr. Venkman, even though you're a wrench now. So let me do that right quick. Okay, there we go. Christie, you're officially part of the wrench squad. Okay, so the general synopsis of what kind of sets everything in motion is that you have a kind of like an environmentalist terrorist group. Oh, hang on, I got to back up. So Monarch, I was talking about Monarch. They are the group that was going and kind of keeping tabs on the Titans, and that's what they're calling the kaiju in this movie. Is they're called Titans, and I want to say that was the organization from the first movie. I don't remember. Honestly, I don't give a shit because whatever. So they are developing this device to try and, I want to say, pacify the Titans. And what ends up happening is this terrorist organization gets a hold of it. Like I said, they're an environmentalist terrorist organization, and their idea is that they're trying to bring, because of climate change and all this shit, humans are killing the planet, blah, blah, blah. And therefore, that's their motivation. Humans are killing the planet. And this is their way of kind of like hitting the reset button by unleashing the Titans, because whenever they fight and engage, like nature springs out of where they're at. So like what happened in San Francisco in the first movie, you had like this return to nature there. And so that's kind of their motivations for releasing the Titans in this movie. And yeah, it works pretty decent. And like I said, man, it's fun. There's a lot of humor in this movie that really works, especially in some of the tense situations that are going on. Yes, Dalton, the movie kicks ass. I completely agree with you, dude. It's fun. A lot of fun. I would say probably within the first 30 minutes, we get to see our fight with Godzilla and shit, as I totally blank on the monster's name. King Ghidorah. And Godzilla gets his ass kicked. And that's the thing, like when we talk about like hero movies and, you have the big bad villain and it's the hero's struggle to overcome the antagonist of the film. And that's what happens, is that when he first interacts with Ghidorah, Godzilla gets his shit kicked in really, really badly. And so it's like he's not like this. Yeah, they actually had the Godzilla song at the end of the movie, which was really well done. But yeah, it like I said, even Godzilla has his character arc where you think that he's this monster, he can just come out and smash everything, and that's not the case, and that's the thing that was really kind of cool about it. Godzilla isn't the hero he wants to be. He's the hero we need. Right on Switch Point. Motunui, dude, go see it. Anyone out there who's listening, either present or future, it's a great movie. It's fun. You're gonna enjoy the ride. And like I said, all my complaints I had with the original movie, I did not have with this movie. The thing that really pissed me off with the 2014 movie was like anytime Godzilla showed up at the very beginning, they would either pan away or cut away, and you get like this quick glimpse. Not at all. They did a fantastic job with all those scenes. The other thing too is that there is actually some really surprisingly touching moments between the human characters. And again, without getting into specifics, you have um, two individuals that sacrifice themselves, for the greater good. Um, and that was really well done. And that's the thing. I'm sitting here in this movie. I'm like, I'm watching a monster movie, and it's like, in this movie is evoking emotion, you know, and it's like, that's crazy. It's stupid. You would think about it, but it was very well done. One of it is the human antagonist. There's a bit of a redemption story for that character, and it's just like, damn, that is really well done. And I think some of the issues, um, I'm curious to read some of the articles from the shill media talking about what their complaints about this movie, because I'm pretty sure that they're all stupid. Continuity. I'm hearing there is balance between the humans and monster scenes pretty well. It actually is done very well. And during the climax of the movie, they shot the way, I wouldn't say they shot the scene, because there's a lot of CG in this movie, but it's really cool because you have these very human elements where you have these humans that are trying to get out of the situation, and it's happening during the backdrop of the showdown between Ghidorah and Godzilla. And it's really well done because it pans up to them and you see them fighting, and they're, shit's getting knocked down, and they're trying to get out of the way, and it pans back to them, and it was really well balanced. I love the fact that you have, like, the human characters that you're seeing the effect on their world by these two giant monsters fighting. Um, and Dalton, you'll get this. It's definitely a bad day to be a Red Sox fan. Once you guys see the movie, you'll see, you'll get what I'm talking about. So let's see. I have a complaint. Odin's movie blog agrees with me. Okay, dude. What's what's the issue that you have with it? I'm kind of curious. I love that line. Yeah, it's fucking great. There's a lot of really nice little lines in there, that were really well done. I do have a few complaints though. There are certain things where it is kind of predictable. There is a scene where one of the humans gets knocked back by an explosion into the door of a truck or something like that, and it's like, I'm pretty sure that would have snapped his spine. So yeah, I mean, it's stuff like that, but it's typical kind of like, you know, being a little over top in movie complaints. It's like the dude falling from a two-story building and not breaking his leg. There's certain things like that. Yeah, plot armor. Thank you. There's little bits of plot armor. It's not super terrible, but it's definitely something where it's like, yeah, that did take me out of the movie. But overall, not bad. I had fun. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. Let's see. Odin's the only married guy I know that's a virgin. All right. Okay, Dead Schooled. But yes, Cinema Queen, I'm very curious to see what your kind of complaints are about the movie. But overall, compared to what, even like watching Avengers Endgame, which is a highly, highly flawed movie. And it's really funny because, like, the more I think about it, the more I think that if I rewatch the movie, I'm not gonna like it. Um, that's that's the thing that sucks about when you watch a movie for the very first time and you're not giving the critical path. You're not being very critical of the movie. You're just showing up to watch it and not pick it apart. You don't really think about the things that's gonna annoy you. But yeah, that's the reason why I've been avoiding rewatching Endgame, is simply because I know I'm just not going to enjoy the movie on the second ride. There's still some parts in that movie I really do enjoy, but it's just like, Yeah. This I can probably watch again knowing the flaws. Maybe I'll see some new ones, but I think I'll still enjoy watching the movie, the second go around. I never bothered with the original and rewatching the 2014 Godzilla simply because like I said, I walked out of that movie knowing I didn't like it. Don't rewatch it. I did, and I wish it didn't. That sucks, Christie Miller. That sucks. Yeah, I figured you were talking about Endgame. Yeah, I'm not surprised on that whatsoever. I'm pretty sure it's gonna completely fall apart on the second viewing. Yeah, I only like the final battle, Manu. Yeah, I agree with you, dude. That part where Cap picks up Thor's hammer, fucking love that scene. That was like honestly the highlight of the movie for me. And the I mean, there's like a few other things, but that's basically it. Don't give much crap. Trying to think of what I can say about the movie without ruining it. But overall, like I said, that fight, the fight scenes between the monsters are really well done. I think the CG is pretty decent. There's times where it does get a bit over the top, mainly because of the amount of destruction. But that's like with any movie that Man of Steel is a really good example of that, where it's just carnage everywhere, buildings are being destroyed, and um, it does get a little bit ridiculous towards the end with Godzilla. But like I said, it's one of those things that I can kind of overlook it because the movie's still fun. Even though critically, I'll pick it apart later on the next viewing. But yeah, um, but for the most part, the CG holds up in the movie pretty decently. Godzilla doesn't look incredibly fake. I mean, that's like one of my complaints about with Thanos is Thanos looks CG, and I think they did a pretty decent job of blending the the CG and the real world. Spoilers: the humans' motivations are wonky. Yeah, I agree with you a little bit with that, but uh, I don't buy that one character from Turning. Yeah, okay, I can see that. It's a very dark film. Yes, it is. Some of the CG wasn't good. Most of the fight scenes were in the trailer. Yeah, that's pretty fair criticism. Um, for the most part, let's see. I don't know. It's kind of funny because like there's certain things with CG that will really pull me out of the film. I think this one did mostly a pretty decent job. Um, I don't know. I guess the one point I might argue with is the redemption arc that I kind of mentioned earlier. Maybe it's one of those things too. If I see it on a second viewing, maybe I'll change my mind. I don't know. Most of the fight scenes were in the trailers. I guess that's a good thing that I didn't watch the trailers. But other than that, you loved it. Well, that's good. Um, that's like one of the things that one of my major complaints about Endgame was a lot of the freaking CG. It just didn't blend all that great. They are definitely setting up Godzilla versus Kong. There's a lot of little things I thought were pretty cool on how they like showed the Titans throughout like human history using like real artwork, like pictures of hydras and stuff like that. That was really cool. Being it that my background's in art, anthropology, and I studied a lot of history stuff, classics in the medieval world. Whenever I see stuff like that, I really tend to enjoy it. Did you stay until the end? Yes, I did. I did. I always do. It's mainly just because, not just because of the end credit scenes or the potential of the end credit scenes. I typically just do that because I figured if I'm gonna watch a movie and I know a lot of people put in a lot of hard work to make them, I'm going to stay through the credits. I kind of picked that up from a friend of mine. He did the exact same thing. But yeah, so there's that. The thing I thought was pretty cool is even though they had a lot of reference to the monsters, they didn't overdo it. That's like one of my biggest complaints about any kind of sequel, typically with superhero movies, is it tends to suffer from over villainization. And like, just like watch any of the 90s Batman movies, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. And a really good example of this is the third Spider-Man movie, where you had Sandman, the Green Goblin, and Venom, and it really kind of takes away from the story when you have too much. And where this not so much. You basically had four monsters, and that was really it. And the way it was done was pretty well. So yeah, I mean, if you watch the prequels, you know that there's Ghidorah in it, there's Mothra, Rodan, and of course Godzilla. So that's basically it. So trying to think what I want to say about this movie. Like I said, I it's not a perfect movie. It's definitely there's definitely better movies out there than this, but it sure is fun as hell, and I do recommend going and checking it out. Overall, if I had to give it a rating, uh, let's see here. I think I'd actually give it a 7 to 7.5. That's, I think, a pretty fair score on it. Okay, folks, I think that's basically it. Being it that I'm by myself and I don't have any other opinions or other people's, to share their opinions, I think I'm just going to go ahead and call it. I just wanted to do a pretty quick stream to talk about it, like I normally do. And that's it. So I will see you next time, folks.